Hare Krishna. Okay, welcome all. So let us start off with some quick revision of the first chapter. So anything that you remember from the first chapter, some quick points. Anything that you remember from our last discussion on the first chapter?
A sign of victory, Prabhuji,
Very nice,
of
very nice. We
the
saw signs of
Pandavas.
victory. Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell us some signs of victory, Arunamathji. Go ahead.
First victory that Prabhuji, it was happening at the holy place. The
Very
war
nice,
was
Kurukshetra.
happening at the holy place, and
Mm-hmm.
Krishna is the side of Pandavas.
Very nice.
That
Krishna
is
is on the side of the Pandavas, so clear sign of victory there itself. And what was the name given to Krishna or called? Krishna is called for that particular situation. Anybody?
Rishikesh,
No, not Rishikesh. Something else.
Madhav,
Madhav. Yes, very nice. Madhav, the husband of the goddess of fortune. Yeah, and if the goddess of fortune is on the side of the Pandavas, then they cannot lose. Very good. So two important signs of victory: Madhava and the Kurukshetra. The battlefield is in the Kurukshetra, which is a Dharma Kshetra. It is supposed to help the pious people. Good. Okay. What else? What other signs of victory did we see?
Kapidvaj,
Kapidhwaja, very nice. Hanuman on the flag of the chariot. Good. What else?
the chariot was given by Agnidev.
Chariot given by Agni Dev, which was supposed to be a non-defeatable chariot. Whoever is on that chariot will not get defeated. Very good. Okay, Agni Dev chariot. What else?
Goddess of fortune was there. So Lakshmi.
Sorry, Mataji, I didn't hear that. Come again.
I said goddess of fortune. Lakshmi Devi was also there with
That is the Madhava
goddess.
part. Yeah. Madhava. That is covered in Madhava, Krishna on the side. Okay. Good. What else?
conch shells,
Conch shells shattering the heart of Duryodhan. So all the fantastic conch shells. Okay. Good. What else? Yeah, Vandana Mataji, someone from you? Prabhuji is there also. Yeah, I can see Prabhuji on the call.
The ones they were in my mind have already been
Already been told. Okay. Okay. So I think there are quite a few. Let's quickly look at some of them that we will see here nicely listed out. Where is it gone? Just give me a minute. Oh, did it go away? Yeah. Krishna's presence, goddess of fortune, the venue we mentioned, Hanumanji, symbol of Vishnu, conch shell as a symbol of Vishnu, and conch shell also as the blowing. There's the two parts, symbol of Vishnu, conch shell was there. Bhishma's conch shell to pacify Duryodhana because he's already scared, which means he's already there. Shattering of the hearts because of the conch shell noise. Agni Deva's chariot we saw. One important thing which probably is not mentioned here is Duryodhana mentioning that all these warriors are ready to die for me. So he knows, oh, looks like they're all going to, he's in a defeatist mode already. Yeah, so which all of these are signs of victory. Good, very good. So we saw signs of victory.
Prabhuji, there is a good point, the lowest one here. It says
Uh-huh.
that Pandavas' hearts were not shattered because they had taken shelter of Krishna.
Krishna, very nice. Yes, exactly. Yeah, because everybody heard the tumultuous sound, but only the Kauravas hearts got shattered. Very nice point. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, good. Okay, so signs of victory. We saw the signs of victory as part of the first chapter discussion. Okay, what else did we discuss as part of the first chapter, first 40 shlokas that we have discussed?
The reasons for Arjuna withdrawing from the battle.
Not fighting. Very nice. Reasons or doubts arising in the heart of Arjuna. Very good. Yeah. What were those reasons that we saw? We saw four reasons, three and a half actually. Yeah. Fourth one we just touched upon.
So the first one was like he was very compassionate towards
Compassion.
Sinful.
So he was not willing to go through the bloodshedding that will involve in the war. So
Very
he was
nice.
feeling bad about it.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Good. So
Then,
one is compassion.
yeah.
Then,
The second, should I go
Sin.
ahead?
yeah, go
Sin.
ahead.
Second is that he was feeling that what he won't feel any good even if he wins that battle, because
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
involving his very close relatives, friends.
Fathers,
So so
grandfathers.
Others. Yeah.
so he won't feel good. And secondly,
Exactly. Exactly.
so many
He
people
won't be able to enjoy the
enjoy,
victory.
because if suppose
Loss
they
of
die,
enjoyment.
if they die, then whom will
Yes.
he share the joy
Happiness
of?
of.
Yeah.
Happiness. Very nice. Very nice. So compassion, loss of enjoyment. Two
Was
reasons. Third.
Yeah, third was that he was concerned that if all these men will die, the soldiers
Hmm.
will die, then their families, their wives and their children, they will all suffer, because they will
Yeah,
become
that's
nation.
part suffer. Okay. Okay. Continue. Continue.
So
So
they,
what happens because they're going to suffer?
because they will the dying
The men will not be there.
the religious.
Okay. You're now going to the fourth reason. I'm
Yeah.
still looking for the third reason.
The third I'm not getting. I'm forgetting the third.
Prabhuji, it's
But
sinful
you're on the
reactions.
right track. You're on the right
Sinful
track.
reactions.
Sinful reactions that
Sinful
he,
reactions. Exactly. So much of suffering he's going to cause. Yeah,
so
to
he might
including
feel
the family members of all the soldiers and the violence on the soldiers and the animals and everybody. So much of sin is going to come.
so he
So
will.
therefore, he's saying, oh, all of so much of bad karma is going to come on all of us. Does it make sense? Yeah. And he says it won't make sense for us to fight. Therefore, because we'll get so much of bad karma, so much of sinful reactions will come on to us. Okay, so compassion, loss of enjoyment, fear of sinful reactions. Fourth one you were just touching upon, Mataji, go ahead.
So that if suppose these men will die, then the families will lose the head of the family
The
will be lost,
generation.
and then the
Exactly.
children will suffer, the wives will suffer, and they may get into wrong paths. So it will affect the religious direction, the proper
Direction. And the entire society as well as the dynasty itself will get corrupted.
The word dynasty.
yeah.
Yeah, dynasty. So destruction of dynasty. That's the fourth reason. And we will dwell upon that a bit more as we see the next. We were at 40, right? If I'm not mistaken. We covered this. Yeah, sorry, we were at. This is last to last week. Okay, yeah, 40. Varna Sankara. That was the word that we were discussing. Varna Sankara will happen. Varna Sankara means Varna, the lineage will get destroyed, lineage will get polluted, or unwanted progeny might come. The translations goes, when irreligion is prominent in family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. Yeah. So here, interestingly, Arjuna calls Krishna as Varshneya. Why do you think he calls that?
Because Krishna is from Yadukul, na? And Yadukul is such a good kul. So Arjuna is getting doubt that why Krishna is involving Arjuna in destroying the dynasty. Why
Very nice.
giving
Very
such a instruction?
Very nice. He's invoking the Kula, saying that you are from the dynasty of the Vrishnis, so which is such a great Kula. And if you go fight with this war, then there is a possibility that you are a upholder of the Kula, yeah, upholder of the dynasty. How can you allow the Kuru dynasty to get destroyed, or not even Kuru dynasty, the entire, like so many dynasties will be there, so many kings had come. Yeah, so yeah. So we saw in the first chapter signs of victory and the reasons for Arjuna to not fight. Apart from this, what else did we see in the first chapter? some very important concept about Lord Krishna.
Different names of the Lord Krishna.
Okay, good. Yeah, different names of Lord Krishna we saw. Very nice. Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, that is also one of them.
Conceal name of Prabhuji.
Sorry?
The conceal name of
Names
the
of conch
Pandavas
shells. Yeah, okay,
and
that
Krishna.
that we covered that. We covered that. Different names of
So,
conch shells, or conch shells rather as a sign of victory we covered. Yeah, different names of conch shells. What else? About Krishna, something we
Krishna takes the authority of charioteer or taken the lower position.
very nice. Yes.
Bhaktavatsala.
As Krishna as Bhakta Vatsala. Very nice. So even though he takes a lower position, yeah, he does not fall down from his original position of being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And look at this, his badappan, look at his great-heartedness, the Lord's mercy, that he is ready to become a servant of his devotee. Yeah, because he wants to serve his devotee. Yeah, that is the personal relationship the Lord has once you become Lord Krishna's devotee. Lord Krishna gives himself totally to his devotee. And therefore, he is called as Bhakta Vatsalaha. He is ready to protect his devotee, and we will see further also. He tells Arjuna that Name Bhaktya Pranashyati. Please tell the world that my devotee will not perish. So he is a protector of devotees. He is the Bhakta Vatsala. Vatsala is in Vatsalya. Vatsalya bhav is in parental bhav, as in the protector of the child or taking care of the child. A child is like fully dependent on the parents, right? So that's the Vatsalya bhav. The parents have to ensure protection for the child. So the Lord also has that same kindness towards his devotee. So therefore, once we become a devotee, the Lord takes care. That is the strong faith that we should have. Yeah, very good. So Krishna as Bhakta Vatsala, very nice. So that is the other aspect that we saw. Very important one, of course, Conchals Mataji mentioned Krishna as Bhakta Vatsala. What else? Yeah,
Arjuna,
yeah. Go ahead,
Arjuna,
Mataji.
Arjuna is mentioned as a Gudakesha.
Gudakesh. Arjuna mentioned as Gudakesh. Yeah, what was the important
The
link
one
there?
the one who can conquer his ignorance and sleep.
One who conquers his ignorance. Very nice. So
Yeah.
why is he referred to as Gudakesh there by Krishna? Or rather Sanjaya, actually. Yeah.
Yes, Sanjay. So,
Mhm.
Prabhuji, I know the backstory when Arjuna was, learning the archery from the Guru Dronacharya. At that time, he
Mhm.
was, throughout the day, he was learning from him, and he was not eating nothing. And then
Mhm.
in the night, when darkness was there, at that time he was eating. So at that time he thought that I can eat in the night, in the darkness also. Why cannot I can do the
Shoot.
practice during so he then what he did during the day he was learning from him, and during the night he was
Practicing.
doing the practicing. So
Very nice.
that's why he
That's
called.
one aspect of Gudakesh. That's good. That's good. That's more from his learning perspective. But in this context, why was he called Gudakesh?
Because one who conquers the sleep is known as Gunakesha, and sleep
Mhm.
represent ignorance. So
Ignorance
Arjuna conquers both sleep and ignorance,
and
and
ignorance.
he's being
Very
a
nice.
devotee of Krishna. He
Very
never
nice.
forgets Krishna. So that's
Very nice.
why.
Also, this is more like a, what I should say, a reference to Arjuna, that you are now going to behave like somebody who is going to be in the mode of ignorance. How can you be in the mode of ignorance? How can these doubts overcome you? Isn't it? So that's why he's called as Gudakesh also, because no doubts can overcome him, but still doubts have overcome him. So it's like a foreboding to, or an indication being given to Arjuna, that you cannot have doubts, because you have to fight now without any doubts. Good. Yeah. So that's why the reference there to Gudakesh comes here. Good. Yeah. So only other thing we didn't see is or didn't revise today is the preparations for the war. We saw different. How many Akshahunis?
18.
11 plus 7.
11 plus 7, 18 in total. Very good. And each Akshauni has so many number of whatever soldiers and elephants and all of those things. Also, different warriors on each side. Yeah, isn't it? We saw some warriors on the Kaurava side. We saw some warriors on the Pandavas side. Yeah, yeah, very. So those are all part of the preparations of the war, and those are all part of the first chapter. So we are now in this destruction of family traditions and slowly moving towards the fifth reason for Arjuna to not fight, which is indecision. Yeah. So let's complete the next 7 set of shlokas, which will complete chapter number 1, hopefully today. And that's what my intent is. But till we've covered till 40, any quick questions or doubts in terms of the shlokas that we have covered till now? No? Okay, great. Of course, you're always welcome to ask any question at any point of time. Let's progress ahead then with the 41st verse after Varna Sankara concept has been introduced by Arjuna. Arjuna saying Varna Sankara will happen. Now, what is the outcome of this Varna Sankara, or indirectly, what is the outcome of the war that is going to be? Yeah. So he is further delineating the problems with Varna Sankara. What will happen when unwanted progeny come into the Kula? So 41st shloka, let's look at this one. Yeah, Ashish Prabhuji can read this one.
Hare Krishna. Adharma Adharma bhavat Krishna.
No, 41.
Sorry, one second.
Yeah.
Sankaro narakayev kulagnaanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro yesam luptapindo dakakriyaha.
Very nice. Yeah.
An increase of unwanted populations certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performance for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so this is the other problem or angle that he is bringing in. He is saying unwanted population will come in. And what will happen because of that? It will cause hellish life for both the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. So typically this is what we see, right? One of the things that happens when uncultured people enter is the loss of culture. People stop doing all of the important pujas or any of those particular things, and obviously the entire culture goes down, isn't it? So that's what Arjuna is trying to point out, that if this war goes ahead, then what will happen? Varna Sankara will happen. And what is the problem with Varna Sankara? Increase in unwanted population, and low quality people will get born, and these low quality people will not be following traditions. They will not follow all of these particular important culture and cultural steps that we do. And because of that, what will happen? Because there is one important aspect that we do as Pindadan. If you know, Pindodaka Kriyaha is what is mentioned here. Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha means, Lupta means it will become Lupta. Lupta is that it will get lost or stopped. What will get stopped? The offerings of the food to the ancestors. Yeah, so the Pindadan is supposed to be a very, very important aspect that is done in proper Kula or dynastical families, whereas the ancestors are given respect so that they can come back again and take birth. Of course, whatever birth that they have taken, they will get purified from those particular births because of the Pindadan that has been done, and they will come back again to the Kula, and they will take rebirth there in the Kula, and they will probably increase the level of the Kula again, or make the Kula famous, or make the dynasty famous. But if that particular offering of the Pindadan is stopped, then what will happen? The ancestors also will get corrupt. They will not get a chance to come down again, get benefited of the Pindadan. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada nicely talks about what this Pindadan is about. Yeah, and he makes this particular point. Let's look at this particular point. Would you read ahead?
According to the rules and regulations of fruitive activities, there is a need to offer periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu, because eating the remnants of foods offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of sinful reactions. Sometimes the forefather may be suffering from various types of sinful reactions, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire a gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle bodies as ghosts. Thus, when remnants of prasadam, foods are offered to forefathers by the descendants, the forefathers are released from ghostly or other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to the forefather is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals.
Okay, hold
When
on.
we,
Yeah.
yeah.
So important point, yeah, before we progress to the next aspect of devotional life. So here, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that there are many activities as part of our Vedas which are mentioned, which are helpful for our ancestors also, and of course not only ancestors, other jivas and all of those. One of them is the Pindadan. That is done as part, I mean, in many of the families, in many of the Kuleen families, this is a standard practice, yeah, that during one of the months that this particular a Pindadan is done once a year as part of that particular. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, every month also it is done as part of certain set of practices. And what does this do? It helps the forefathers to acquire gross bodies, because they might not have got good bodies because of their own karmas that they have suffered. Yeah. So therefore, when remnants of, basically it's a Vishnu worship only. It helps the person who is now here to think of Lord Vishnu. Why? Because he wants to help his forefathers. But what is he thinking? He's thinking of Vishnu. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayat. It's one of the methods to help the current generation to think of Lord Vishnu. Why are you thinking? Oh, because my forefathers will get help. And because he thinks my forefathers, he indirectly is getting a lot of agyat sukruti, because he's in a way doing worship of Vishnu. So he is also getting benefited. The forefather who is being offered the food, he is also getting benefited. Basically, what is happening? Everybody, the entire dynasty is getting benefited when you do this kind of a things. Yeah. So now, interestingly, Srila Prabhupada makes a beautiful point further towards this particular aspect. He says that such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals. Now it comes Srila Prabhupada's additional angle here. What happens to those who are in devotional life, those who are always in Krishna's service? What about those people? So Srila Prabhupada beautifully gives an explanation. Go ahead, Prabhuji, read. One who is.
One who is engaged in devotional life is not required to perform such actions. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of misery. It is stated in Bhagavatam 11.5.41. Prabhuji,
Yeah, Devarshi Bhutap Nranam Pitranam Naking Karo Nayam Runi Charajan Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Parihritya Kartam. Yeah, read the translation.
anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberations, giving up all kinds of obligations and has taken to the path in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligations to the demigods, sages, general living entity, family members, humankind, or forefather. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by the performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Interesting. Like, and why would Srila Prabhupada bring in this angle? Because he makes this particular point that this is for all those Kuleen people. Now, in the Kali Yuga, nobody is doing, maybe not everybody is doing Pindadan. Yeah. So now, if they are not doing Pindadan, they will be thinking, oh my God, what will happen to me? Then they have a choice. What is the choice that they have? They have to become devotees. And that is what Srila Prabhupada wants to do, right? He wants to spread Krishna consciousness. So what is he doing? He's saying that if you're not doing Pindadan and you want your ancestors to get benefited, what you have to do? you have to take up to the shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, which means you have to surrender to Krishna basically. And he says, and he refers to the Bhagavatam that anybody who does this particular thing, you don't have to now do Pindadan. Why? Because you are doing everyday japa, you are doing devotional service, you're doing following the 9 processes of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam. Yeah, then because of that, what is happening? Your forefathers are already getting benefited. Why? Because this verse says that anyone who takes shelter to the lotus feet of Mukunda, he has no obligation required in his particular. So he doesn't have to do Pindadan, he doesn't have to do any of the following traditions, all of those particular things. Now, such obligations are automatically fulfilled by the performance of devotional service. Now, so that is the additional beautiful angle that Srila Prabhupada brings in through the point of the Pindadan. Even though Arjuna is mentioning here about Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha, Srila Prabhupada is concerned that, oh, many people, when they read this, they will think, oh, I am not doing Pindadan. What about my ancestors? What will happen to them? Isn't it? That's the normal question that we will all have, right? Because not many of us might be aware of such, because already Varna Sankara has happened in the Kali Yuga. Now, we are not probably aware of all of these particular traditions. And therefore, for us, what is the only solution for us? The only solution is to become devotees. Yeah, so when we take up to devotional service, automatically all of this gets covered for all of us. But for Arjuna, what is he concerned? He's concerned that, oh, my ancestors will not get benefited because of this war that I am waging. So it's an extension to the same point of loss of dynasty. That is what he is making. This point that he is making here in the 41st shloka. Let's see further. He makes another cogent points in the next 2 shlokas. What will happen further? Yeah, Indu Mataji had a question. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this that by performing devotional service towards the Lords, we don't need to do all this Pindadan. So this is only for the purest devotees or for all those who are
No,
in the
we have to also
process?
become, no? We have to also become pure devotee. That is the incentive for us to become pure devotee. Why would you want to become impure devotee? Isn't it?
Okay, but we are in the process.
Process, exactly. So as long as you're in the process, that's fine. So you can do Pindadan if you are doing, not a problem. Finally, that Pindadan is also Vishnu worship only. Actually, it is part of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu only, actually speaking, isn't it? So nothing is wrong there, actually. So when you're doing your devotional service, now supposing you are not doing devotional service, you are only doing Pindadan. Is that in the purest form? That also is not in the purest form, right? In the Kali Yuga, where are we so pure? So in either case, that is also Vishnu worship. What you're doing is also Vishnu worship. Your daily japa also is Vishnu worship only, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not that, oh, I'm impure devotee now, therefore I have to do Pindadan. But where is your Pindadan so pure, actually speaking? That will also have the same set of impurities, right? Because that is also Vishnu worship, isn't it? So fine, not a problem. You can be you are a devotee who is trying to become pure. At least the intent is there, right? And that is what intent matters. That intent has to be there, that I have to become a pure devotee. I have to have ensured 24 hours I have to think of Lord Krishna. And that is what even Prahlad did. When Hiranyakashipu was killed, Prahlad said, oh, please help my father. And what does Lord Narasimha say? You don't have to even ask for that. Already 7 generations above you and 7 generations coming are all going to get benefited because you are a devotee. So same thing, we also have to get to the same level of what Prahlad Maharaj's devotion was, isn't it?
Yes.
Prabhuji, I
Yeah,
just have
yeah.
one question. So underlying motive of both, right? Pindadan and doing a worship, become a devotee of the Lord, right? So when we do Pindadan, we kind of do for kind of an as mentioned in the sloka, like it would be more of giving
Karmakandi activity.
to forefathers, right?
Exactly. The benefit there, it's not pure devotional service. Why? Because there is a motive there. It's not ahaitukhi bhakti. Yeah, but fine. See, again, at least yena kena prakarena, one way or the other, you're trying to think of Lord Vishnu. That ahaitukhi bhakti to come is a long process, like what Indu Mataji is also saying, right? To get to the level of ahaitukhi bhakti, we will take some time. So even with we will start with Haituki Bhakti, with that there is some Hetu. What is the Hetu of doing Vishnu worship? My ancestors should get benefited. Also, a lot of Vedic rituals, you do Pindadan to not to demigods also. Basically, there are certain rituals where you. So maybe those also might not give that. Might give you some kind of pious benefit, basically. Yeah. But you're right, it is
Yes,
not, it's not pure devotional service, but fine. Like we said, we are in the stage of becoming pure. We are in the process.
true, true. I guess.
Hare Krishna. Okay, let's read the next one, 42nd one. Yeah, Indu Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna. Doshe, sorry, dosher yeta kula gnanam varnashankara उत्साग उत्सागते जाति धर्म कुल धर्माश्च शाश्वत.
Very nice. Okay, so now comes some more reasons for the Varna Sankara. Go ahead, Mataji.
Translation: by the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated.
So now he is pointing out that so many community projects, typically what if I'm doing a Pindadan, I'm not going to do it in one corner, right? I will put a big process. I will call so many people. There will be a community. He will give some dan to the children who are poor. He will call some brahmanas. There's going to be some big kind of an activity that will happen. Also, because the tradition has got destroyed, all other community projects, now, family welfare activities, all of those also will get stopped, which means what additional bad karma is going to come, isn't it? So Arjuna is now getting scared that the destruction of dynasty will happen, but along with that, additional problems are also going to come. So because he says evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition. So these evil deeds give rise to what? Bad karma, basically. So in a way, he is now combining the fear of sinful reactions and the loss of destruction of dynasty, or the loss of or the destruction of dynasty together, and he's saying now see more problems are going. He's telling Krishna basically, yeah, that I'm thinking whatever I'm thinking now, this war will happen. And why is the war happened? Because Arjuna wanted a place, because Arjuna wanted to kill. So all because of me, all of these problems are going to happen. So he is like, very much concerned about the entire welfare of all of the other people. That's what Srila Prabhupada also mentions in the purport. Quickly read the purport, Mataji.
Community projects for the four orders of human society combined with family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma are designed to enable the human being to attain his ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of the Sanatan Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of society
Brings about chaos.
Chaos in that society, and consequently people forget the aim of life, Vishnu. Such leaders are called blind, and persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos.
So Arjuna's view is that the entire Varnashram Dharma system will get broken. And if you're all aware what the Varnashram Dharma system is, right? Four Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudras, and Vaishyas, and the four ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. So like this, all of them become 16 boxes. We've seen that in other classes. Let me bring that up. Give me a minute. Where is it gone? Here, sorry. So I was showing this in another class also yesterday. Yeah. So this as the Varnashrama Dharma system that we all know, and we are all some of you are aware basically. Yeah, the four Varnas. Yeah, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharis, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa as the ashramas. Yeah, and this becomes a 16, a grid of 16 boxes. Yeah. Brahmana brahmachari, Kshatriya brahmachari, Vaishya brahmachari, Shudra brahmachari. Yeah? Then similarly, Grihasthas of 4, Vanaprasthas of 4 types, all of those. So each of them has a specific set of duties. Yeah. Now this entire system is now set up as Varna. That was what was set up as part of when Arjuna was there, or when Krishna was there. And his worry is that this entire system will now get broken. Why? Because the people who are governors of all of these systems, those who are governing the system, they will all die away. They will all been killed. All the good people are getting killed. So the entire system, and how each of this, if you also see what Srila Prabhupada says, he makes this very important point, that uh, 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 they therefore breaking the Sanatan Dharma tradition by irresponsible leader of the society brings about chaos in that society, and we see that already today. That there is no Varnashrama Dharma system, and there is so much of chaos in the society already in the Kali Yuga. And imagine now Kali Yuga more has to pass. How much more chaos is going to come in as we progress into Kali Yuga? Why? Because already Varna Sankara has happened almost. Yeah, and progenies are polluted. There is no Varnashram Dharma system getting followed. No Brahmanas in the society. Pure Brahmanas. Everybody is corrupt basically. So what is the only outcome? Chaos. So Arjuna is already thinking, oh, if we do this war, then this chaos will happen right away. Of course, he's not aware that this, or probably is aware, and he's behaving like with on the mode of ignorance. He's thinking that, oh, I will be the cause of all of this problems, that chaos that is going to happen. So he is worried, therefore, that we should not do this war. That is the reason for why he does not want to fight, because he's now thinking that entire chaos in the society will come in because of this war that is going to happen. And that's where he now concludes this loss of dynasty, or destruction of dynasty verse with the 43rd verse. Let's see what this one says. Yeah, Vandana Mataji wants to read.
Utsana kuladharmana manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavatitya anushushuma.
Very nice. So this nice, which word for Krishna here?
Janardana.
Janardana. Now, why is Janardana used here? Why does Arjuna call him Janardana?
Because Janardhan means the one who maintains. He's the maintainer.
One who maintains, very nice. Maintains the Jana. Jana as in all the living entities. Very nice, very nice. You hit the nail. Yeah, and if he is a Janardana, then how can he allow this Varna Sankara to, how can he allow all of this thing to happen? So he is like, Arjuna is like, he is like a lawyer. He is putting the right words for Krishna, or right names for Krishna at the right point, so that he brings home the point, saying, you are Janardana. How can you allow this war to happen now? We should not fight. So he is wanting to stop that particular fight. Okay, let's see what he says in the translation. Mataji, read ahead.
O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell.
So interestingly, yeah, Krishna is what? Maintainer of the people. So if Krishna, you are maintainer of the people, how can you allow this traditions to be destroyed? How can you allow this dynasty to be destroyed? Because destruction of dynasty will also cause other problems. That family welfare projects will stop, community welfare projects will stop. So much of people who are going to getting help, those will be stopped, and traditions are stopped. So all of them are going to cause so much of problems. So he does not want. So of course, this is all part of the destruction of dynasty reason, the reason of why Arjuna does not want to fight. That's what Srila Prabhupada also explains further. Mataji, read the purport quickly.
Arjun bases his argument not on his own personal experience, but on what he has heard from the authorities. That is the way of receiving real knowledge. One cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnashrama institution by which, before death, one has to undergo the process of atonement for his sinful activities. One who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called the
Prayashchitta.
prayashchit. Without doing so, one surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities.
Very nice. Yeah, so Srila Prabhupada brings out a different angle. He is saying that if the Varnashram Dharma system is broken, then one important consideration in the Varnashram Dharma system is the Prayashchit karma. That typically before after you become old or after most of your duties are over, we also see the Muslims also do this Hajj, yeah, which is part of their Prayashchitta karma. That's part of the system basically. Yeah, I've done all of my duties. Now during the execution of duties, I might have done something wrong. Let me go and pray as part of the prayer. Even as part of Varnashram Dharma system, something similar also exists, the Prayashchit karmas, or the different sets of processes that are followed at different ages. At 60, we do one Shashti Puja and all of those different. They're all part of this Prayashchit karma, where what do? We pray to Lord Vishnu, basically. Finally, that is again the end game. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayat. So, okay, I've now become 60 years old. Let me do Prayashchit. What do? I will pray to Lord Vishnu. And you do a Vishnu Puja, or you do a certain Kirtan, or you feed Brahmanas or Vaishnavas and all of that. All of that is what? Part of the Prayashchit. Now, if this system is not going to be there, Arjuna's fear is that this people will have to undergo a lot of misery. Why? Because they would have not done the Prayashchit, which is part of the Varnashram Dharma. If they have not done the Prayashchit, they will undergo hellish conditions. And he makes this point. Why? Because he says, I have heard from personal experience. He says, I have heard from disciplic succession. So interestingly, Srila Prabhupada explains how important this disciplic succession is. Because only through authorities, when we hear, we will get to know what is the real knowledge. And he emphasizes this point that disciplic succession is the way of receiving real knowledge. And we will see further also in the 3rd chapter when it comes the principle of Arohan and Avarohan. And there also this importance of the disciplic succession comes into the picture. Lord Krishna also emphasizes disciplic succession in the 4th chapter, when he says that I have what is that verse? Where he says, Evam parampara praptim imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. That the disciplic succession has got broken and I come to establish it again. Isn't it? So what is this disciplic succession? The way of receiving real knowledge. So Srila Arjuna here mentions that because I've heard from disciplic succession that family traditions destroyed, they will dwell in hell. And therefore he says that imagine additional karma coming on to me, because now all these people who are supposed to do prayaschitta will not do prayaschitta. So all in all, Arjuna has now portrayed a very cogent set of reasons for not fighting. Compassion, because so much of pain for all of the people, all of the losses that will happen. Fear of sinful reactions, the consequences of all the pain being given. Loss of enjoyment, loss of enjoyment is second. Loss of enjoyment, everybody dies. How will I enjoy? With whom will I enjoy with? Fear of sinful reactions. And 4th is this destruction of dynasty. So now Arjuna is now set. He's saying that no point, how will I fight? What will I do? So next set of verses basically talk of Arjuna's reaction to the overall. He kind of summarizes his regions, and let's see what he says further. Prabhuji can read this one. Unmute Mataji. Mataji, you have unmuted, not muted.
Sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Aho bata mahat papam kartum vyavarshita vayam yad rajya sukha lobhena hantum swajanam udayata.
Udyataha. Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Alas, how strange is it that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen.
Interesting, right? So now he is like overall, making a summarization of his reasons to not fight. What is he saying? That we are, it looks like we are preparing to commit great sinful acts, because all of these, what is the consequence of all of the four reasons that Arjuna puts in, is a lot of bad karma. Yeah. And what is this bad karma? What is the incentive for doing this bad karma? Oh, I'm going to get my kingdom and I will enjoy my kingdom. So
Desire
he's
to
thinking
enjoy royal,
this is, yeah. Sorry, Prabhuji.
driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness.
Yeah, exactly. Desire royal happiness. So I'm going to enjoy all of this. And because I want to enjoy all of this, let me do this bad karma. So it's like a very, greedy, very, very low level kind of a thinking is what, and he's finding that strange. He's saying that it's a very rhetorical question, how strange it is. That we are motivated by to do all of these bad karmas because we want to enjoy and we want to kill our own kinsmen. That is what the point Arjuna, he is being a saintly devotee. He is feeling that extremely high amount of moral. He is, his moral grounds is shaken. Yeah, so that's what he is like. He's like, he's like pleading to Krishna. Okay, let's not fight. Let's not do this, because I'm seeing on both sides my own kinsmen, my own set of people, and all of this. That's what Srila Prabhupada also nicely mentions in the purport. Yeah, Apoji, read a purport, short one.
Yeah. Driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world. But Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities.
So these moral principles is what the basis of Arjuna's crux of his doubts is. He's listed out very cogent arguments to not fight, and he is himself thinking, oh, how have we come into this situation? How have we come into this particular place where now we are all ready to fight? And what can we do now? To is there a position that we can stop now? And therefore he is pleading to Krishna that let's see if we can stop this war, right? That's what he makes in the next couple of shlokas. Let's see what does he say here. Yeah, Aruna Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna. Yadi mama pratikaram shastram shastrapanayah.
Ashastram shastrapanayah. The ma is only half here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ashastram shastrapanayah धातराष्ट्रारणे हन्योस् तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्.
Very nice.
Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapon in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield.
So now he's saying, okay, what is the bet? Why instead of killing all of these people, I will just lay down my arms. I will just stand here. Let Duryodhana come and kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Yeah, so he says, but unfortunately, what is the Kshatriya code? Kshatriya code is if somebody is going to be unarmed, they are not supposed to fight with him. So obviously, then the war might not happen. So therefore, Arjuna is saying that I will drop down my weapons. That's what here Srila Prabhupada also mentions, that according to Kshatriya fighting principles, unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Yeah, but however, what is Arjuna is saying? No problem. I will drop down my arms. I will not fight. And even though the other person is still wanting to fight, let him come and kill me. I am ready to give up my life because I can see this huge amount of karma awaiting, bad karma awaiting, if I go ahead and do this fight. So better what? Better to not fight at all. Better to stop this. All of this comes up because of his soft-heartedness. He's a great devotee of the Lord. He has a lot of moral principles, even though he knows that he has been wronged. So we saw in the previous set of verses the word called atatai. If you remember atatai, what was atatai? Their definition of atatai was 6 things. Who remembers? Anybody? No? Definition of atatai was there.
Prabhuji, it was there in the verse 36.
Yes, correct.
6 kinds of aggressors.
Aggressors, yeah, 6 kinds of aggressors.
Poison giver, one who sets the fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife, which all apply
Right.
to Kauravas.
Exactly. So all of them actually applies to Duryodhana. All of them applies to the Kauravas. But look at the large-heartedness, or rather the soft-heartedness of Arjuna. He is saying that even though I have been wronged, but I should not take on this huge amount of karmic debt on me just because I have been wronged. Maybe I've been wronged because of my own past karmas, but let me now not add on to additional karmas. That is the thought process Arjuna is having. Because he has been overcome by looking at all of the people around him, is by looking at all of the relatives around him, all his father, mother, and all of that. Yeah. So that's what is the position of Arjuna. Let's see further. What does Sanjaya come into the picture now? Sanjaya comes into the picture. Now, this is what the position of Arjuna is summarized. I will not fight. It is very wrong. Morally, it is reprehensible to not fight, or to fight rather. Yeah. So now Sanjaya is coming to give a further summary to the overall picture. So let's look at the next verse. Yeah, Aditya Prabhuji, you are able to read? I think he's traveling.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I am commuting.
Right. Yeah, no issues. No. Yeah, Anadi can read, please.
Sanjay Uvacha Arjuna Sankhe Tathopastau Pavishat Visruja Shasharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasaha.
Very nice. Yeah, translation.
Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief.
Yeah, so mind has overwhelmed with grief. So now Sanjaya, through his Divya Chakshu, Divya vision, he is able to see in the battlefield, in the center of the battle, 7 Akshahunis here, 11 Akshahunis here. In the center is Arjuna and Krishna in their Ratha given by Agnidev with Kapidhwaja. Arjuna is ready to fight with his bow and arrow, but looks like, oh, what is he doing? He's keeping his a bow and arrow down, and a charioteer is supposed to be standing ready to fight. But what is he doing? He's sitting down. Looks like his mind has got overwhelmed with grief. So how do you think now? Dhritarashtra is looking at all of this. He is now feeling very happy. Probably, oh, looks like Arjuna is going to give up. My sons will still have the the all the kingdoms. That's what he might be thinking. And Sanjaya is telling this description of Arjuna to Dhritarashtra, that he has kept his bow and arrow down and he has sat down and he is in full of grief. So that is the position of Arjuna. He is, even though he has been wronged, he still does not want to correct what the wrong has been done. Yeah. Let's look at quickly any point that we have missed. Yeah, so that's where this particular chapter ends, with 46 verses, with the situation of Arjuna giving up, or keeping up his bows and arrow on the battlefield, not wanting to fight. So any quick questions or thoughts on what we've discussed till now? Yeah, so we've seen this particular part, 41st shloka. Arjuna seeing failure of the Varnashrama system, all the Pindadan, all of those various traditions, all the Vishnu worship that is happening, everything is stopped, nothing is going to happen. So he is not ready to kind of destroy this entire failure of Varnashrama system. He does not want to cause the failure of the Varnashrama system. So he is therefore not wanting to. So this is how the degradation of society. Tyaga Chaitanya Prabhu has nicely put this picture. That superiors are killed, destruction of dynasty. What will happen? Destruction of eternal family traditions will happen. Vedic rituals will stop. Irreligion will come up. Women will become unchaste. Unwanted progeny will happen. Yeah, and all kinds of community projects, welfare, everything will get destroyed, resulting in chaos of society. And that is what the present society is. Similar already destruction of all of these things has happened. So Arjuna's degradation of society nicely picturized here for us to remember. Yeah, how the degradation of society will happen. Yeah, this is what we discussed. Yeah, and all of those who destroy family traditions, they will go into hell. That is what is the nicely pictured. And therefore, Arjuna is thinking that, oh, should I do? Is it better to die unarmed in battle? That is what Arjuna is thinking. And the 45th verse we saw, he says, I want to not fight at all. Let me die in the battlefield. And the next verse, he will say that let me go to the Himalayas. I don't want to. Let me become a beggar. I don't want to fight in this particular war. So that's how he kind of, that's the state that he is in. And this is where it ends. You can see Sanjaya seeing in his heart this picture of Arjuna sitting down in his chariot, not ready to fight. Hare Krishna. Okay, I wanted to do only till this particular point, this particular verse. We will continue with our discussions over next week. Any quick comments, thoughts, realizations, protests, questions?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah, Mataji.
Prabhuji, how we, just for my understanding, I'm asking how we can see everyone in our current life, uh, how we can see everyone from the bodily relation.
How we see, because, yeah.
So how we can see, in practical life, seeing everyone is from the body relation, it's very difficult. So how we can do
No,
so
it
that
is most easier to do it in a body relationship. How to see it from a spiritual perspective, isn't it? That's what the question is probably.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because see, again, we are all conditioned from so many lifetimes. From all our previous lifetimes, we've been conditioned to thinking that I am the body. So it's not going to be easy to just suddenly stop thinking I'm the body and start thinking from a soul perspective. It will take time. Yeah. So one of the reasons, one of the ways we can see it is we can see that all of these people around me, including my close relatives, my parents, everybody, they are all spirit souls. They have some karmic debt, or I have some karmic debt towards them. I have to serve them in one way or the other. If I serve them, automatically I am going to reduce my. So in if you have that angle of the karmic angle, thinking that all of these people are around me because of some karma is attached between both of us, between those two souls. So if you remember, if you think of, say for example, a river is fast flowing, and in this fast flowing river there are two twigs which have come, and the two twigs have got stuck together, and they're flowing, and then they got separated, and then maybe they will not never meet again. So similarly, if you see time, yeah, as a river, then we all jivas have come together for a certain point of time and executing some of our or exchanging some of our karmas, and we have gone back separately. So the way we can see our relatives is through this concept of the river of time, and that will help us to probably get ourselves into the thinking mode of that we are all spirit souls. And this soul has come to me for certain amount of time because there is some karmic debt I have to exchange with him, or he has to give me, or she has to give me, or I have to give to her, whichever. And then if you think on these particular terms, what will happen? You'll be thinking at a soul level. You'll be thinking, oh, this Janma is over, we will now go as souls somewhere else. And that is like a really depressive thought, isn't it? Oh, we are only there for some time, then we will go somewhere else. We don't know where we will go. Then that depressive thought triggers surrender to Krishna, isn't it? Because many times in such a situation, those two twigs, if they've got separated, is there a chance that they will come back again? Might not. Very, very rare chance that they might come back again. Isn't so? Therefore, if you are the twig, you will be thinking, "Oh, it's so sad. All of this good times, all of good people. I will." So, what will you automatically do? You will think of Lord Krishna, because devotees do that, right? So, what will happen when you are even interacting with your with relatives, with all of these other people? You will be a thinking from a soul perspective, and B, thinking that how will I ensure that this particular person will get some kind of Krishna consciousness from me, so that I will get benefited, she will get benefited, isn't it? So when you look at it from this perspective, it becomes easier for all of us to comprehend, understand. Yeah, that we should not be looking at everybody from just a bodily perspective. This is just a temporary period that we have come together, and we will, in the long term, in the long river of time, we will be going away in different paths. So that could be one thought process. I mean, others can think of also and maybe help Aruna Mataji. Make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji, very nicely explained. The analogy of river is, very simple to understand. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, and mostly see, it's going to be, even Krishna says like 5.18, right? Panditaha Samadarshina, the one who sees the soul in everybody, he is a Pandita. Yeah, now to see a soul in everybody is not an easy process. Many times you see, oh, this person, he bitched about me last time, I'm going to kill her, and I'm going to, so as soon as you see the person, all these baggage comes out. Why? Because we are in the bodily concept. Yeah, and slowly we will come out of that bodily concept slowly. It's a slow process. Japa definitely helps. Yeah, and of course, always being in association, eating sattvic food always helps, because you're all in the mode of goodness. Only when you're in the lower modes, you see. So if you're in the mode of ignorance or mode of passion, you will be more bodily conscious. As you go higher in the modes towards the sattva guna, and then you start thinking in soul terms, in spiritual terms. So what food you eat, what association you have, also colors your vision. Yeah. So that is, those are the other angles that can help to not see others just from a bodily perspective, rather than from a soul perspective. Why? Because you are in Sattva Guna, and Sattva Guna shows you the good side of everybody, basically. That way.
Yes,
So
yes,
that could be other angle also. Again, being a devotee, that's why being a devotee is a full package. It's not just one part. Being a devotee means food has to be change, association has to, your behavior has to change. All of these automatically starts to happen once you take up to the process of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. So when you sit and do japa every day, it automatically subtly changes your behavior overall, and you will yourself see your anger levels have come down. Your all of this is what, all of these are relationship angles, right? Why do we get angry? Because of some relationship tussle is one of the standard reason, isn't it? Yeah, so all of that will start coming down slowly as you become get to into more and more devotional service, and that will help you in looking at all others from a perspective of a soul, rather than from a perspective of the body, from a bodily angle only.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Good question. Okay, any other point? If not, then we can close for the day. Ekam shastram devaki putra geetam eko devo devaki putra eva eko mantra tasya namani yani karmapi ekam tasya devasya seva त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कात्यायनी महामाये महायोगिन्यधीश्वरी नन्दगोपसुतं देवी पतिं मे कुरुते नमः श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्ण तवास्मि श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्ण तवास्मि श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्ण तवास्मि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता पाठ की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय।
Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Gracias.